Dynasty is indefinitely. Dynasty is about upside plays, stores of value. Your top rookies tend to be top rookies in large part because of the perceived early upside, path to relevancy relatively immediately. But as you scour beyond those early round picks into your late rounds, and maybe not even draft picks, you can generate extreme significant value for your teams in a way that you just cannot beat. Rashard Smith is a later day 3 pick that could have opportunity sooner rather than later relative to a 7th round selection. This is a Chiefs team with key scouting personnel talking about how they considered selecting Smith at pick 156 prior to Oregon linebacker Jeffrey Bassa sliding unexpectedly. He walks into a room that's headlined by running backs aged 27 or older who have relatively problematic injury histories, who haven't been the most efficient, the most explosive by any means. Smith, who started out as a receiver who has easy hands out of the backfield, who could be a third down, a receiving back for a Mahomes, a security blanket, check down guy behind an offensive line who still has some work to do, some improvements to make. Sure, they addressed it significantly, but are we really expecting a massive, massive jump for this offensive line? Does Smith have to improve as a runner, given he only played the position one season? Of course. He'll have the opportunity to refine his game in this offseason camp leading up to the regular season. But nonetheless, his skill set is significantly different from what the Chiefs already had. And you look beyond the 2025-2026 season, everybody is a free agent in this Chiefs running back room. All of a sudden, there's a world where Smith is able to carve out a role this season and be a piece that potentially only garners more of a role heading into year 2. Similar to Smith, I was high on Devin Neal pre-draft as a top 10 running back in the class. After further consideration, I like the situational upside in New Orleans. This is a team that's now forced to turn to a young, unproven quarterback, whoever is under center there. You draft Shuck early, you've got Rattler there. As a former quarterback, Kellen Moore knows he is going to have to help out whoever's taking snaps under center in the shotgun with a strong running game. Of course, Alvin Kamara is one of the best, has been one of the best in the NFL, and he's going to have to be relied on significantly. But behind him, to me, Devin Neal has that inside track. I view him more highly than a Kendre Miller. I view the craftiness, the feel he has as a veteran running back relative to his college tenure. Well built, has the size. While it's very unlikely he has a similar workload early in his NFL career that he did as a collegiate player, Devin Neal could slowly but surely carve out a foothold within this Saints backfield. And you think about the situation that the Saints are in, come mid-season, when you're likely going to be out of really the divisional race near the bottom or right there at the bottom of the NFC South, are you going to consider trading away a prime asset like an Alvin Kamara that could boost a potential playoff team in their title and their Super Bowl hopes, while you look to stockpile significant assets for whoever maybe emerges as your quarterback if it's already in your room, or for whoever you might draft in 2026? The timeline with Kamara and the current iteration of the Saints and the future iterations, it just feels like we are bound for separation sooner rather than later for someone else to start carving out a big-time role in the New Orleans backfield. The last running back drafted, but certainly not least in terms of potential opportunity, it's Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt out of Arizona, drafted by the Commanders late 7th round. He walks into a room headlined by a Robinson and Eckler. Similarly to the Chiefs running back situation, next free agency, it could be wiped completely clean slate for someone like a Krosky-Merritt to show some things as a rookie and to earn a potential role going into year 2. This is a guy that, like a Brian Robinson Jr., some tread on the tires, a bit of an older prospect, but unlike a Brian Robinson, he actually enters the league coming off of a year where he was not heavily relied upon. He only appeared in one game. Eligibility issues, under the radar guy, impresses in an all-star setting, a Shrine Bowl MVP. He has the size. Receiving is not really a part of his calling card, but he's got a different gear, I think, compared to a Robinson and Eckler. The testing corroborating that. A mid 4.4s guy, not a low 4.5s type of player. The Commanders know, after an incredible year one with Jaden Daniels, their viability, their longevity as a contender in the NFC is contingent upon the ability to preserve Jaden Daniels year in, year out. Of course, he's going to have explosive plays, be really the focal point of both pass game and your ground game. But just taking a bit off of his plate, some hits here and there that he otherwise could potentially take, Akroski Merritt, there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. That's the name of the game with these rookie sleepers inherently. Low cost, no risk really, potentially medium, high reward. With Krosky Merritt, by all accounts, impressing in rookie camp. If he makes the 53-man roster, he's got a chance to show some things as a rookie to give himself a bit of an inside track, potentially heading into 2026. A Seahawks 5th-round pick, Torrey Horton, is a no-round pick in some of the rookie drafts that I've been a part of, which I do not understand for the life of me. Talk about a guy who's got the size, the speed, a low 4.41 at the combine, the route running ability, some after the catch as well. Dominated at Colorado State, dealt with some injuries though this past season, but is seemingly recovered fully. Next to JSN, there really isn't any long-term type of solution. I think Torrey Horton could carve himself out a role this season. I do not view Marquez Valdez-Scantling as a barrier to entry as that third receiver on the field. Cooper Kupp, of course, is there. Homecoming to Washington, can be age 32 season. Has some injury concerns, though. From a contractual situation, the Seahawks, if things don't go according to plan, or if they're just looking for some type of financial solution relative to the cap, could part ways after this season. In any event, I don't see Cooper Kupp being there beyond 2026-2027 season. And with Cooper Kupp, interestingly, we've seen relatively recently the ability in a mentorship type of capacity in boosting a young ascending wide receiver's trajectory. Not saying he's going to be the next Puka Nacua, but even if he's half of that, it's an absolute steal at the price that you're able to get him in your league. Like Torrey Horton, I've seen Pat Bryant go undrafted, which is unbelievable for a top 75 NFL draft pick. Goes in the early 3rd round to a Denver Broncos team with a Bo Nix, a good offensive line, drafted in RJ Harvey to infuse some of that run game to make it just a more effective, all-around, competent, fantasy, productive offense. He can immediately come in and be the secondary pass catcher in that offense. Build a connection with the Bo Nix that's there to stay. Cortland Sutton, going to be a 30-year-old free agent in 2026. Have to figure that they re-sign him potentially in the coming months, in season possibly, avoid him getting to free agency altogether. But what if, and there's a chance that they don't re-sign if it goes into the offseason? Does he get a bag to go elsewhere? Pat Bryant, as an outside guy, the size, not the most explosive athlete, but I'm just not overcomplicating it here. Within the Sleeper app, you're getting big-time opportunity with how suppressed he is in that ADP, and picked by a Sean Payton effectively. Oh, this guy reminds me of Mike Thomas. If he can get anywhere close to a Mike Thomas in terms of production, some of the most fantasy, high-end elite performances that we've seen in recent memory, who cares how exactly the sausage gets made in terms of how pretty it is from Bo Nix's hands to Pat Bryant's hands? There's real opportunity with Pat Bryant that you just can't overlook in your rookie drafts. Rondé Gadsden II is a pass catcher, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 29th. He has a potential to carve out a role with the Chargers. We'll see if he makes the roster a 5th-round pick. Talk about Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, warranting first-round rookie picks, the top of this class, making that difference-making upside bet. You go outside of the difference-making territory. Gadsden is as sensible a bet relative to cost. You listen to Coach Jim Harbaugh give a hopeful vision for Gadsden developing as a blocker, being a guy who could be on the field relatively frequently and consistently, give you opportunity with that receiving, that pass-catching skill set. It's not a dime a dozen relative to a Will Dissly, Tyler Conklin, a different skill set. Could he carve out a role? I think there's a decent chance. Chargers clearly see a vision. We know a Greg Roman, a Harbaugh-led team wants to utilize tight end. Could Gadsden be that guy? Let me know what you guys think of this list of sleepers in the 2025 NFL draft class. Guys, thank you so much for 500 subs. We're building, we're churning. Future 2026, way too early mock coming.